All right, and away we go with game number 1. We will get them lined up in just a moment. And there we are. Let's see if we have the razor shield for both. We do indeed.
Both of them are just going to do their best to clean up these guys without picking up a smart bomb when they don't want to, unless it's at the end of the room like 40 just did.
Yeah, look at this time from 40 watt range. That is going to be a mid 39. That's a very good time. Good use of the smart bomb at the end. Drumboardist already going to find himself 4 seconds back, so not the start that he envisioned. Here we go into collect powers, and look at this. RNG favoring the favorites already, 40 watt range. But guess what? Equal opportunity as both runners now have an orb.
Yeah, just as you say it, the game drops an orb right on Drumboardist's feet, gives him a razor shield, gives him rockets, gives him the whole setup. 40's got some rockets too, so he should be able to keep up or keep that lead going. But yeah, the game's just giving our runners both weapons to take care of business with.
Absolutely, and 40 watt range going to be first with the 121, but look at this, Drumboardist about a second and a half back into eating my shrapnel. Advantage of 40 watt having that spreader to start the room, and Drumboardist walks right into the green shirt.
Yeah, so now he's going to have to do his best to keep these shrapnels under control without the orb and hope the game just gives him one. He uses that smart bomb to just clean everything up. It's going to be a couple second penalty, but you know what? Maybe that was the smart move because the game gave him an orb right after.
Absolutely. And, in his situation, when you don't have a weapon, there were 3 shrapnel dudes on the screen. It was a good idea to use the smart bomb. That's going to mitigate the time penalty he's going to suffer in this room. But watch out. He does get that spreader, so good. Look out. Oh, man, he was getting a little too close to those shirts there. 204 versus a 207, so he didn't really lose much on 40 watt.
40 watt getting a razor shield, though, to start this room. So now he's going to have the center of the room all under control. It's going to help him just keep these firing lanes nice and clean and probably help him gain a little bit of time if unless the game gives Drumboardist some rockets to keep him in pace.
But 40 watt gets some rockets of his own, so he's going to be able to keep that lead. Smart bomb on the feet for Drumboardist. He'll go ahead and use that, reset the room. He's looking for some more weapons. Now he gets a razor shield, so Drumboardist is pretty much more or less, provided he finishes the room with this razor shield, going to keep that orb, but he's dancing around with that razor shield. That's pretty dangerous to do.
Yeah, he used it all up. He decided to be really offensive.
255 into the bonus room for 40 watt, but Drumboardist with the 303. So both of them really good times to the bonus room as we have some Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell.
Yeah, Drumboardist is doing a great job of keeping up with 40 watt. I mean, 40 watt's one of the best, and if he's only a couple seconds behind, he's doing really good.
Certainly, and 40 watt range now. Drumboardist, also keep in mind, he's got a little bit of rockets left in the chamber, so he can use that to start this room, and if he shoots carefully, he could pick them both off. He gets one, but only one.
But then he's able to take out the other, and the game gives him a smart ball. Let's see if he grabs it. Decides not to, though.
Doesn't like the location of him. I mean, it's right next to a mine. If he's not got, good movement with those frame tabs, you certainly can't fault him for it. But yeah, that would have, given him an opportunity to regain control of the middle. Now the weapons have dried up on both runners, a foot for both. Drumboardist is doing a fairly good job keeping the middle to himself, as is 40 watt, but now a spreader for both. Man, equal opportunity. You love to see it as 40 watt gets in there with a 411. Really good time. Sub 6 definitely in play for him, but Drumboardist keeping pace. He's going to have a 420, a high 420. PB is in play for Drumboardist.
Yeah, Drumboardist has been throwing down some really good play on this run for sure.
It's going to come down to the weapons. Did 40 watt get the orb damage on Mutoid Man?
I think he may have. I was kind of looking at the other screen when he did it, though.
Hard to say. But look at this. A spreader for Drumboardist. Will he, or 40 watt, excuse me. 40 watt does get to it. Grenades for Drumboardist.
Yeah, and 40 watt, I think, did get the orb damage there with having both arms already off of him now.
All All right, and we do now have lobbers for Drumboardist. An empty drop for 40 watt with that key. Now a spreader for Drumboardist in a great spot. Can he get to it? No, he cannot.
Yeah, he missed that mine on the first try. He danced around it for a second, and that was enough time for it to vanish before he could grab it.
Oh yeah, I hate to see it, folks. I mean, he could have. Sub 6 was in play for Drumboardist. It still can happen if he gets another spreader, but that is a horrific break there for Drumboardist. And now 40wattRange churning those lobbers, pounding them into Mutoid Man. And there's a spreader. Drumboardist going to have to go manual on this. Can't take the death. It's too far away. Now he could take the death because he gets another spreader. Will he be able to get to it? He does.
That was a great death, too. Right before he picked up that spreader, took the death and got some of that damage out of it with the shield.
Unfortunately, he vibrated right into Mutoid Man, losing a good chunk of that, and the game does not reward him this time. Final form for 40wattRange. It's looking like he's going to win game number 1 as Drumboardist gets another spreader, and 40watt will take game number 1 as Drumboardist great manual damage won't be able to get to that spreader, unfortunately.
All right, the game gives him some grenades. He gets them at the last second, and now he got some lobbers. This will probably bring him to the final form, so we just throw some more lobbers here. Hopefully we get some more drops that will give him damage, but we get a key instead because the game knows.
Yeah, it certainly did. The PB was already gone by that point, but yeah, the game does know in this final form. It loves to throw empty drops, and usually it doesn't like to throw just one. It likes to go 2, 3, 4, to the point where you like to shout to the game, "Are you done yet?"
Yeah,
but it is.
The game finally gives it to you, though, and he's going to get like a 702 here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Drumboardist, dancing around that mine. If he doesn't dance around that mine, I think he PBs. I don't think he wins. Maybe he does. Hard to say. But he definitely PBs, because his PB right now is 638. He would have PB'd easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've gone to run into that mine for a spreader and just missed it and done the same exact thing. It's just, it happens when you play this game. It's kind of like weird the way your hitbox works because like you're supposed to be 3-dimensional, so it takes some getting used to, and then like you're also running around in circles the whole time. So
absolutely, it was a very competitive match up to that point, very close going into Mutoid Man, but yep, 40 watt had the better fight. He didn't have as much to work with as Drumboardist did, but 40 watt just absolutely made it work with what he was given. Lots of lobbers, pounding home the consistent damage. Just waiting on 40 watt to be ready here. And when he is ready, we'll get started with game number 2. All right, both runners are ready. I'm going to count them down.
all right, and it looks like the runners are going to get counted in, so they should be starting right about now. And here we go.
Absolutely here. So game number 2 coming up between 40wattRange and Drumboardist. Razor shield for both players, so we are in good shape.
Yeah, and if we see more of arena play like this out of Drumboardist, we're going to have some real nail-biter matches here because he is putting up really good times.
Yeah, most definitely, as Bryce Huff was pointing out in chat, that his Arena 1 play definitely improved. And yeah, he had a real excellent chance of getting a PB there. Just Mutoid Man didn't quite cooperate with him. 40 watt is going to have the whole shot at about a 40.5. Drumboardist a little less than 2 seconds back.
All right, so now we get the drop we're all waiting for.
Rockets, great opening drop 40 watt, an invulnerability for Drumboardist, so definitely advantage. And now the RNG starting to favor the favorites, but never. Once again, every time I've said that tonight, the game is listening to me because Drumboardist also picking up an orb.
The game wants to see some evenness tonight, looks like. So we got 2 orbs here, and we're both gonna clean up this room. 40 had a little bit better of a start with the rockets there, so he'll probably get a little bit of a time lead on there.
121 for 40 watt, pretty good time, but Drumboardist not going to be all that far back. He still has the orb. It'll be a 127, roughly 6 seconds. Good shot on the swirls there by 40 watt. Now Drumboardist needs to be more careful at the start of this room. Does not want to get that orb picked off like he did last time. Almost got picked off by the shrapnel, but is able to keep that orb intact, and that's what's going to be most important, especially going into Total Carnage.
Yeah, definitely. Now that he's got the orb and he's got this room under control, he'll be able to just stay on pace with 40, and we'll have probably the same times going into the next room here for Total Carnage.
All right, 40 watt range just finishing off the shrapnels. Just a couple of foot soldiers left for Drumboardist. He's there. 2:04 into Total Carnage. Drumboardist is going to have one more left, I believe. That will do it. He's there in 2:10, so still 6 seconds back.
40 gets some rockets, so he just cleans up the whole room.
And Drumboardist losing that orb. He was getting dangerously close, and that's unfortunate because the game decides to give him a Razor Shield. However, the game being nice, ooh, that was a close call. The double shrapnel there. Drumboardist keeping that orb and gets his Razor Shield.
40's dancing around, getting a little out of the center there, but doing a good job of keeping all these guys under control. Getting some more rockets, so now he'll be able to just get back to center, clean up again. And yeah, he's doing just a good job of controlling this room.
Razor Shield will prevent Drumboardist from picking up, but does get a spreader on the feet anyway. He's going to hold it off until the last second. He wants to use it as late as he can. Not a bad strategy. Watch out for that shrapnel. 40 watt just has to take care of the last 2 missed shrapnels. His time, 3:02. Very solid. But Drumboardist pretty much keeping his own. He's going to be about 8 seconds back with a 3:10.
And that's not bad for dropping that orb. I mean, the game gave him one right back, so he was able to not lose a bunch of time.
I only lost about 2 seconds as we have Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. Ugh. Opening drop, foot, nothing to write home about there for 40 watt. He was hoping for something better, but maybe if Drumboardist can get a rocket, he can get back into this one. His opening drop, that's a good opening drop, a smart bomb. He can take care of one of the gunners. He takes care of both of the gunners, so very good usage there by Drumboardist. Now he needs some weapons. Keep control of that middle. Spreader for 40 watt. Drumboardist trying his best. He's doing a lot of dancing. Vitamin R for 40 watt. And now Drumboardist drops the orb, gets rockets.
As long as the game keeps giving him rockets, he'll be okay, though.
Absolutely. You can get by in a room if the room continues to give you weapons, but the weapons have now exhausted for Drumboardist, and it's back-to-back feet. 4:15 into Mutoid Man. Sub 6 definitely in play for 40 watt. Grenades for Drumboardist. So yeah, the room's definitely dried up. It's like, but you know what? He's still not that far back as the shrapnel does explode at the end. It's a 4:29. So again, PB in play for Drumboardist if the game cooperates. But look at this. 40 watt with the spreader in a great position. But Mutoid Man did his best to try to push him away there. Did you see that?
Yeah, he almost kicked him right out of the way of that spreader at the last second.
Oh, Drumboardist in trouble, though, because that swirl, hard to hit it when you've got it. He gets electrocuted, and that swirl's still going.
Yeah, you don't want to have the lobbers with that swirl. It's about impossible to hit. I mean, if someone hits it, it's amazing.
Looks like 40 watt for the second consecutive match got the ball buster. He got the orb damage on Mutoid Man. So, man, 40 watt just showing it off. Look at him go. Already in the penultimate form.
Yeah, he's just melting Mutoid Man over here. He's already to final form.
Wow. This could be a tournament record if he finishes it off. Remember, it's a 5:41. A few seconds left. It could go down. He needs another weapon. I don't know if this is going to be enough. No, it's not. The record is still going to be saved barely.
But we're going to have a 5-4X here. Another 5-4X in the tournament. I think it's going to be like a 5:43 maybe.
My goodness gracious. 40 watt range just put up a 5:45. Top 5 fastest time ever. just missed the record of 541 by Deller, who, by the way, has still held that record since the second annual tournament. Really good run for 40 watt. Drumboardist at the penultimate form could still PB if he gets a spreader right now, but he doesn't. He gets a lobber. So once again, Mutoid Man abandoning Drumboardist. I mean, he's been putting up some great Arena 1 times. Final form for Drumboardist, and of course, the spreader comes right after the form change because, again, game knows.
I mean, 40 watt always brings it at the tournament. I mean, I would know. He's taken me down twice.
Yeah, absolutely, CHX. As Drumboardist uses this grenades, could do it, and it does. He's going to just miss on the PB by about 6 or 7 seconds.
Still overall not a bad run for Drumboardist.
Yeah, absolutely. Throws a 640. I mean, 645 is going to win a lot of races, but he just went up against a buzzsaw in 40 watt range. I mean, 40 watt range had a little less than 90-second Mutoid Man fight. That's just insane for tournament play. And yeah, Brycehoff is absolutely right. Drumboardist did absolutely nothing wrong. He just got slammed by the game's RNG, and that's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back to the past tournaments, a 645 would win you a bunch of races normally.
Yeah, absolutely, but he still has another chance. But one more win for 40 watt, and he will move on to the next round of the winner's bracket. And nobody eliminated this time. I've just counted both runners down, so we should have game number 3 coming up in just a moment. Good luck. All right, and here we go. Game number 3, 40 watt range, Drumboardist. 40 watt range just needs one more win, and he will move on to the next round of the winner's bracket. Both of them do have their Razor Shield. Winner of this match will take on the Cinderella Story Firebroth in the 3rd round of the winner's bracket. It is going to be 40 watt range first again with the whole shot. A little bit slower than what he's accustomed to. This time gets a 41.5. Drumboardist 43.5, about 2 seconds back. Let's see what the opening drops are going to be, CHX.
All right, let's see what we get here. And we get a Razor Shield for 40. It's not a bad first drop, and a foot for Drumboardist. Not what you want to see.
No. Advantage there for 40 watt is a smart bomb. Then grenades on the feet. Drumboardist is going to wisely switch that off for spreaders. More spreaders, but 40 watt gets the opening orb of the match. Rockets, Razor Shields, more rockets. My goodness. 40 watts cup floweth over with a 118. A hot time into Eat My Shrapnel.
Yeah, anything under 120, you're on a good pace going into Shrapnel over here.
And another Razor Shield. Drumboardist already 10 seconds back, and he's done nothing wrong. It's, again, and now I can say it, RNG's favoring the favorites.
Oh, definitely. He's just getting Razor Shield, rockets, rocket after rocket after rocket. This is just ridiculous.
It's disgusting. Disgustingly good, but it's disgusting nonetheless. I mean, 40 watt's, I think, going to have sub 2 coming out of this.
Oh, it's going to be like a 2-shot or 201.
He was a little bit late on that last one. Yeah, 201. You were absolutely right there, CHX. Yeah, richer, definitely getting richer, and had some rockets to start this room. Now let's see what the opening drop's going to be. Drumboardist does get an orb to keep pace. It's a 210 for him into Total Carnage.
40 not really getting anything to help him out, but he's able to just kind of like use his orb and stay center. If you can just stay center with the gun, you can get out of here pretty quick, even if without going for some drops. But now he's got some rockets to go help him out. Well, but he drops the orb.
Oh, a rare miscue here in Total Carnage there for 40 watt. Drumboard is going to ignore the nuke there. Could have used that. Now a spreader in a very awful location. The old Prince Leaf Bomb, as it were. And Drumboardist wants no part of it. So, but a replacement orb. And as Drumboardist loses his orb, 40 Watt gets his back.
It's like Drumboardist dropped it right into 40 Watt's hands.
But look at this! The game giving Drumboardist another chance with another replacement orb. You love to see that. And a good use of the smart bomb there for Drumboardist. He was in trouble, and 40 Watt drops it again as he's clubbed down by the green shirts.
It's just back and forth with these orbs.
I don't believe I'm seeing this. It's a 311 for 40 Watt. Drumboardist gained some time. He's got a 316, high 315 into the bonus room. As once again, we've got some Taco Bell product placement with Taco Bell. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, I mean, dropping that orb in that room will cost you a ton of time, as you can see. And I mean, there's nothing you can do once you drop it unless you get another one or, whatever happens. Let's see what he gets here, though.
Ooh, a good opening drop with the nuke, but without the orb, it's going to be a little tougher. Still's able to get one of the gunners down. Drumboardist gets a spreader. That's not bad, but does drop the orb as he flings into that purple shirt. He does take down the second gunner. So now if he can just get some weapons, he can keep this under control. But if 40 Watt can keep that orb, he loses it. Drumboardist going to ignore the smart bomb again. He might have, again, it's kind of in a tricky spot with that mine, but I might have played it there.
Yeah, I probably would have grabbed that one, seeing that you don't have the orb. Clear out all the guys, regain center, hope for the next drop to come quicker.
Weapons favoring 40 Watt, gets rockets, follows that up with a razor shield, but he doesn't pick it up.
And Drumboardist got shrapnelled from across the room there, but he's going to be able to get these rockets as a consolation prize.
40 Watt's going to be there in 4:39. He's not going to be happy with that time. He may think he's trailing considering what we've seen from Drumboardist, but little does he know Drumboardist having a lot of problems here in tank trouble this time around. So it's going to be much harder for Drumboardist to PB at this point, much less win. He's going to need some spreaders at 4:55. So the worst time for both of these runners going into Mutoid, man. We'll see how this plays out.
I mean, he's still got a shot, though. It's not that far behind. If the drops are friendly to him, we could see a swing happen for sure.
Yeah, and it sets up to be one of those runs where you have like just the worst entry into Mutoid Man, then Mutoid Man decides to give you everything. He needs everything to show up because he is down 2 games to nothing. Meanwhile, 40 Watt really not getting any drops, and Drumboardist gets blocked off by Mutoid Man of those lobbers, and then he runs into the mine!
Oh, that hurts. That one hurts a lot. He needed those lobbers.
Yeah, he finds us. Oh, if that would have been a spreader. Well, speaking of spreaders, 40 Watt gets a spreader. He's going to pick it up and try to get some manuals in. Let's see how he does. Oh, he gets a form. Then he gets run over, but he did get a form change off of that, so some good manuals there. But Drumboardist running out of time. He needs a spreader right now.
Yeah, 40's got lobbers, and he's going to be... Oh, well, he just got sniped, but he's still a couple forms ahead, so we definitely need the drops to get on Drumboardist's side, or else, he's going to be out of luck here.
Oh, and an empty drop for Drumboardist. Oh, but 40 Watt can't get to that drop right there as he takes the death, picks up grenades for Drumboardist. But again, these are not the drops he needs. He needs a spreader right now.
He's about a little bit over a form behind, so I think he has caught up a little bit.
And another empty drop for Drumboardist, but an empty drop for 40 Watt. Oh, a spreader would be great.
Dragging this fight out.
It certainly is. This is a battle of attrition. That's what it is, CHX. And now he's definitely caught up. You're absolutely right, CHX. 40 Watt still has the lead, but that lead is shrinking. Here's a spreader opportunity for Drummers. He's going to have to manually it. Final 4 for Drumboardist. If he got enough transfer damage, he may have a shot.
He may have just stolen that away from 40 with that transfer damage if he can hit that land.
I don't know. This is going to be really close. Lobbers, no, it's going to be 40 Watt by a little bit. Wow.
Wow, that was so close. He made up so much time with that manual that he did. It was a great job, but it just wasn't enough to catch 40 on the lead he had already built.
7:15 versus a little over a 3-second win for 40wattRange. He picked up a lot of ground. See, that was the Mutoid Man fight that Drumboardist needed earlier, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he did such a good effort with the manual. He got so much damage in. That's really hard to do, and he was able to pull it off, get the next spreader. He did everything right. It just wasn't enough.